Okay, I got something new in the shop today. Picked up something on eBay that I've been looking for. It's not the exact model that I wanted, but it'll serve its purpose. I'm just going to unbox it real quick, and hopefully that it works. We don't have to do any repairs to it. But I got this for another project that I'm doing that's got some emergency toning that I'm going to need to be able to generate accurately. It's something you can do with just any audio. I mean, you can do it with a sound card, but this is really nice because it's got the controls right on the front. It's got a lot of different protocols on it already that are associated with emergency response and those radio systems. This came packed really well, so I'm assuming it's made the journey successfully. That's always a good sign when it actually comes with a manual. Either someone's taken really good care of this, or they picked up a manual. Extension cord nicely wrapped. Okay, we've got it unboxed. Just to kind of give you an idea, if you've never seen one of these are they call them code synthesizers, but they make several different versions of this. This particular one does mainly the tones. They actually do make a version of this that actually has a lot more paging functionality where you can send pages. The unit looks in really good condition. It's still got the original paint. Just to kind of give you an idea here on the back, it's already set for my voltage. The exact model number on this one is a R-1150A, made by Motorola. It doesn't look like it's ever been opened. Overall, it looks like it's in really good shape. I'm going to go ahead and get it plugged up, and let's see what happens. Okay, we've got AC power now applied. That's always a good sign. It does appear that it turns on. This should be the tone selection. The membrane keyboard feels really nice, and it's seems to go through and select each one of the options. It's got a level adjustment over here. I'm just going to check real quick on the scope and actually see if this is actually outputting anything. Okay, just a real simple connection. Put some banana jacks in the analog section of the output. Connected that to my scope probes. We'll just give it a test here. So far, so good. Okay, it looks like by default it's outputting something. Let me just change my time scale here to take a look. Okay, it's outputting a sine wave. Let me just check real quick with the counter. See what we're actually getting. Okay, I am getting a signal. It looks like it's a little bit off. If this is supposed to be an even increment, but we'll check that real quick. I just want to double check with the scope here. Okay, one hertz. it's bouncing around a little bit. I've got my frequency counter attached to reference. Again, these are really slow signals to begin with. It's reading 1.027 hertz, and that's changing a little bit, I guess, as it warms up. Okay, I was just looking at the manual, and it gives a really quick power-up test. Basically, it's just wanting you to test the main membrane. And we're going to do some of that here and kind of follow these steps just to make sure that the basics are working. Okay, it looks like the storage is working. I just stored a value in, I guess, position 0. And then I'm going to actually clear it and recall 0. And it brings up the 100.5 that I just entered. So that's pretty much the initial power-up check. It looks, according to that, it appears that it's working. Now I'm going to kind of go through this real quick and I'll actually show you. The main thing I'm interested in is the two-tone paging. I've got a small project where I want to detect a two-tone page and record some audio. This should fit the bill nicely. I can actually do this on my service monitor. It's got multiple audio frequency generators. The thing I like about this is it actually has the Motorola set tone inside of it, and I don't have to go through and manually calculate. And this is stores, and it's really nice to have on a bench. You've got direct access to it. You've got normal and inverting output here on the BNC connector, and this I will need to check and make sure that this BNC is actually working on this unit, and I'll probably go through and just clean it all, and I'll disassemble it at least to take a look on the inside to make sure that there's no obvious problems. Okay, it appears this is working great. It has a couple of, basically the way it works is you have a couple of registers, and the registers displayed over here and the setting is here. It also has different modes. In single, just looking at the manual here, it looks like it has 4 registers that are related to single. And basically the single is just generating a tone, and your options are the tone frequency, the dial pulse break time, the dial pulse make time, and the interdigit time. And that all seems to be working really well. Just to kind of give you an idea, you would type in what you want to have, store that in position 0, it changes the output. And it changes immediately. I see that on the scope and on the frequency counter. So it appears this is really working really well, and it's really fast to program. This will be really easy to do in a modern day microcontroller, with the exception of, you've already got level selection. Just to kind of give you an idea, the level potentiometer here is just really fine. It has a really good motion. Okay, we've still got it in two-tone mode. Same settings as before. And just to kind of give you an idea, this is what the actual output looks like. You can see it's actually changing and following the settings of the stop time, end time, and the gap between the two different tones is working really well. It's nice smooth output. I should be able to feed this in. I can actually feed this in directly into my service monitor on an audio frequency input and not have to program these complicated tone patterns in. I typically only deal with a few. I'm going to check and see if this actually remembers the setting. A lot of these I know that I've messed with in the past that are not Motorola, they actually did, but they were real bad to have a battery that would die inside that actually maintained the settings. But okay, I've repurposed a Waxine speaker. You should be able to hear this. But it's basically doing the tone pattern. Just to kind of give you an example. I think the analog side of this is actually a 600 ohm output. I'm not really sure what the BNC is, but I'm going to test it next just to make sure that it's actually working. Okay, we've got the DPL selected. This BNC actually only outputs the DPL and digital paging output. And I've got that connected to the scope. And basically what the manual actually says, there's really only 2 steps to it. Make sure that a 1 is stored in register 0, and then basically you enter the DPL code that you want to send and hit send. And that's working. I can see that on this. Okay, step 1 was actually taking off this case. They just don't make stuff like this anymore. These are actually spring-loaded latches, the little screw, and it's about a half a turn and then it unlocks and the whole unit slides out. Really nice. It actually does have actual instructions for the cover removal here. Really well shielded, really well built. I'll tell you, I really like this. This makes the case really easy to get off. I don't know if you can see that, but it's actually a little nub, and it's about a half a turn to unlock this. It comes apart really easy. Cover comes off really nice. Okay, the inside of this is in really great shape. There's no debris, there's no real dust to mention. Really nice layout. Just kind of looking around to see if I see, batteries or anything of that nature that would appear to be to calibrate. I do see one trimmer. I'll need to look at a schematic before I actually make any changes. I just want to give you a look at this. This looks like a really easy piece of equipment to work on. Really nice, really nicely done. You just really don't see anything like this anymore. Simple, clean. It's got really good RF shielding. This isn't, too heavy. This isn't too light. Okay, we'll just kind of go over here and see what we can identify. And if I'm wrong on some of this, I just will be. I haven't actually looked at the schematic. Looks like we've got a few EPROMs, I guess, here. Doesn't appear to be any, super ASIC magic here. There's a couple, maybe those are op amps that are actually, one of them is actually socketed. The other one is not. You've got a big transistor there. Caps look like they're in really good shape. I don't see any leakage. Looks like the main clocking is actually over here in this corner. It's actually going to be fairly close to where the transformer or the input, AC input to the transformers at. It's going to be like right in this area. It looks like it's manufactured by... Okay, I just wanted to note real quick, the rear of this board doesn't have anything on it. It's got a really nice layout. Everything looks brand new basically. Okay, I really wasn't able to find a lot of information, so if you know anything about calibrating one of these units, I don't know that there is a calibration on this, to be honest. I expect that this actual this component here that's adjustable more than likely adjusts the level. The oscillation circuit actually all seems to be on the back side of this, on the back corner of this board. And it's not so far out that it's going to affect any of my testing, and probably is reasonable, within a reasonable spec, even if it was new. One of the things I did notice, it looks like they've actually, in some places, I don't know if this is original or the previous owner did it, there's actually a little bit of well snot, that connects these that holds these IDC connectors on. And I see a little bit on a couple of the little ceramic caps are up top, and I don't know if that's, you know, a shipping issue or what have you. But you know, they're stable, not causing any issues. I'm going to leave it the way it is. I do see, it looks like this unit more than likely was made in 1985. All of the EEPROM ICs are labeled 85. In this particular version, you know, the version number on the PROMs is version 1.2, and then they've labeled which component number that they are. There's U3 and U4. So I'm just going to put it back together, get it cleaned up, and it'll be a new addition to the shop, and I should be able to complete the project I want to complete, which is basically generating two-tone pages over and over, and just making sure that the new design is actually detecting those tones. Really handy thing to have. Just looking at what I'm going to have to do to get this over to my SA. I've got a single cable that's already pre-made that'll go straight over to it. And for my project, I'm actually going to be looking at the analog anyway. I don't really need to get this into RF land to do a test, but it will be handy for testing radios as well. Anyway, I hope you liked the video. If you know any more information about one of these, again, this is a Motorola R-1150A. I know that they do make another model of this that actually has paging, you know, more traditional type paging. And those are real similar. I'd be interested in seeing what the differences are. But I'm really amazed at how well built this unit is. This was kind of a fun project to take apart and see how it was laid out. Anyway, I hope you liked the video. Thanks for watching.